Despite its dirty reputation, coal is in high demand across local and global markets, competing for the commodity. With Eskom trying to avoid load shedding and an international export market paying top dollar, the black market for coal is taking off, with criminals trading thousands of tons of stolen coal load by load.
This is like an economical sabotage. They are stealing not only millions, but it gets up to billions.
Coal gets transported along South African roads every day, from mines to either power stations, siding yards for export, or furnaces used by local industry. Syndicates offer drivers cash to divert their loads to alternate locations, essentially stealing the cargo from its intended delivery destination.
Yeah, they give you 3,000, sometimes 2.5.
Truck driver 𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗶𝘆 was recently caught out stealing loads of coal. He says he was approached by an organizer or a middleman when he stopped to get food.
They come with a big man, like 180. You see it in the car.
In the car. So how do you know where to drop off this coal?
They will tell you, but it's not too far. They come and say, 2 kilometers different to where you are delivering. There at Betal, there's got a place. There at Witbank, there's got a place. There at Bronxspread, there are many.
It's pretty simple. The truck will depart with a load of coal purchased from point A, destined for a company at point B. But the coal doesn't get to point B. Instead, it's offloaded at an illegal coal yard nearby at point C. An insider at point B supplies fraudulent weighbridge slips, making it look like the load was received. The transporter will still get paid because, according to the system, everything is in order. It's a lucrative scam. The drivers make hard cash in hand. No overheads, no fuel, no tires, no maintenance. Using his employer's truck, he sells the cargo to a third party and pockets the money.
And they go behind your back and steal from your customers. One of the drivers, he says he earned 157,000 Rand a month.
Transporter Renier Erasmus realizes if his drivers are caught, there could be serious implications for his company, RS Regal, even if he was not involved.
Say the mine came to me first and tell me, okay, we catch you guys stealing coal. Then I must pay the coal and I can lose my contract. And if you branded that you stealing coal, who's going to give you work?
When he picked up irregularities last year, he called on private investigator Danny Day. The investigation revealed that some RS Regal drivers were definitely involved with coal theft.
This is a PTO movement report, which is fitted to the trailer. When they tip it, it gives you a signal, and it gives you position and everything. Dates and time, you can see it's 4:52. But funny enough, this is the original document where they load, weighbridge ticket. This is the one where they're supposed to offload at Black Hill, siding. But this does not correspond, the dates and time of this, with the actual tracking or the tipping of the PTO fleet management. This is definitely to prove that our truck and trailer was not offloading at the specific premises at the time.
Coal theft is not an isolated crime trend. It has infiltrated the entire industry. Investigators have identified around 30 illegal coal yards operating in Mpumalanga. There's a range of rules and regulations that apply to operators in the coal industry, explains mining sector investigator 𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗴𝗶 van Rooyen.
A lot of these small blending yards are not following the rules. If one look at the receivers that we've identified with the blending yards, 99% of them did not apply and are not following the rules and regulations.
So depending on the quality or the grade of coal, a 30-ton truck will cost anything between 18 to 45,000 Rand. But on the black market, it costs half that price, pushing the profits for the criminals way up. They sell it back as legitimate products, often to the same consumers the loads have been stolen from.
I do believe that the receivers at the end of the day do have their market, whether it's for export or whether it's for back into the power station or whether industrial areas that uses coal.
So why should you care as a consumer? In this scenario, the same load is essentially being paid for twice. Once when they think it's been received, and then again when they unwittingly buy the stolen load, contributing to the price of electricity and adding to the country's power struggles.
Let's say a specific mine is supposed to deliver an amount to a power station. Let's say 800,000 tons. By the 24th of the month, they realized that we've ordered 800,000 ton, but we only received 600,000 because we can't keep the electricity on. The bookkeeping looks good because all the paperwork is done, but when they do stock taking, the load's not there.
This criminality forces transporters like 𝗃𝗃 to spend money on increased security measures.
Anita, this can't be cheap.
25,000 rand each, and you must put it in 80 trucks.
For a businessman, this must hurt because it's money out of your profits.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but to keep our work, we must do it. And it's frustrating because the authorities do nothing about us.
That's exactly what happened in the case Dani investigated in August, when he tracked and traced 2 loads of stolen coal that RS Regal drivers delivered to a yard just 1.9 kilometers from their actual destination.
Do we know who's buying these loads?
The guy that we had identified there is a person by the name of 𝗃𝗂.
We decided to visit the yard that 𝗃𝗂 rented last year in Black Hill Witbank.
We're looking for Mr. 𝗃𝗂.
Apparently, there's a new tenant. John Mokhanedi worked as a guard when Venter operated from these premises.
When they discovered the stolen coal, so we started to know that there is something fishing, and his business was not operating well.
But shortly after the police visit and the confiscation of the stolen coal, John says Venter stopped operating from this yard.
So where's 𝗃𝗂 now?
𝗃𝗂 is around all over Mpumalanga and Witbank. But the rumors are saying they used to see him around, and he's still operating.
When the stolen RS Regal loads were recovered, 𝗃𝗂 Venter said in the presence of police and investigators that he bought the coal from a so-called broker and had no knowledge of the load's origin and intended destination.
His attitude was, I don't care who I buy it from, whether it's stolen or not, but I buy it from the broker. And then obviously I sell it again.
But that's not what Venter's affidavit says, according to police spokesperson Brigadier Leonard 𝗃𝗏𝗏.
He came and found that coal in his yard, and he said he did not give anyone permission to offload coal in his yard.
He could also be lying.
I do not want to respond to that question. I just want to maintain what we got from him in an affidavit. Now, in other issues that he is involved or not involved, that is a matter that I think it must be left to us.
There's an issue here. Your members and what they're doing, something is not adding up.
The dockets were just in front of me. I saw them, and they have explained to me. And in terms of the investigation, we are happy.
No action has been taken against Venter.
So 𝗃𝗂 Venter is no longer operating from here. As you heard from the guys there, they say that he left about 2 months ago. So we're going to try and find out where he is because they have given us a number.
We tracked Venter down to his new yard in Middelburg.
They found coal on your piece of land. So where was that coal coming from? Where did you get that coal?
To be honest with you, I don't know about that loads.
What do you mean you don't know about it?
This is my only yard I have.
Before you were here, we've got evidence to show that before you were here, you're operating somewhere else. RS Legal found you with 2 loads of coal that people had bribed their drivers to drop it off by there. And you, in front of police, you said you got it from a broker.
That's why I'm buying it. I'm calling him broker.
Either you or your broker are the thief, one of the two.
Denk jy vir een oomblik my broker gaan vir my sê, dis die trok wat ek gebruik, is 'n gesteelde trok of is 'n hijack trok of gesteelde kole.
How much are you buying it for?
10 cent
10 cents for what?
per trok.
You're getting a truckload of coal for 10 cents.
My price and my offtake agreements is confidential. So, weet jy wat? Om eerlik met jou te weet, dit het niks met jou uit te waai nie.
Okay.
Niks,
so what are you selling it? Where are you selling it?
Nie met jou nie, nie met any Tom, Dick and Harry. Dit het niks met niemand uit te waai.
So you don't care where it comes from. You just buy it straight from there.
It's not my problem where it comes from.
So that means you're willing to buy stolen coal.
I don't know if it's stolen. How do I know it's stolen coal?
Are you innocent?
Yeah, okay.
Tell us who the broker is, because then clearly that's the guilty person. Because he's selling you for a stolen coal.
Hoekom het ek my broker opgehou?
Later, he sent us a number for his broker Prosper, a self-proclaimed supreme hustler. He also claimed ignorance. He says he got the call from you. He said you are his broker.
Yeah, but not from RS Regal. I don't know about RS Regal.
The police apparently couldn't even reach Prosper to investigate any links, so the only arrests were the RS Regal drivers. But industry role players feel the syndicates are not being pursued criminally.
The biggest concern for us at the moment is that the small fish are getting caught, and the organizers and the receivers and the end receiver at the end of the day is not getting arrested. The sooner that the organizers can be addressed and that the receivers can be addressed, the market will stop.
Brigadier 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀 insists it's not that simple. Investigations have to take their course.
Our investigation is open. It's not only focusing on the drivers. We are not only focusing on the drivers. There are things that I'm not at liberty to divulge here because they are still being under investigated. Your questions, some of them are too operational in nature that I cannot open up to tell you things that we are doing as police. So we need to be mindful of that and allow the processes that we are doing to unfold without being unhindered.
But in the meantime, transporters like Erasmus will continue to bear the brunt.
The authorities must help us catching the guy on the end who's buying the coal. We can fire all our drivers, replace them on a daily basis, but if you don't catch the buyer, tomorrow we're going to steal again.